This week, President Biden took on the big lie and the insurrection. The president warned the nation is still in danger after the events of January 6th.
The assault on free and fair elections is just such a threat, literally. I've said it before. We're facing the most significant test of our democracy since the Civil War. That's not hyperbole. Since the Civil War. The Confederates, back then, never breached the Capitol, as insurrectionists did on January the 6th. I'm not saying this to alarm you. I'm saying this because you should be alarmed.
You should be alarmed, the president said. Yet the president did not offer support for removing the legislative blockade in Congress, the filibuster that's standing in the way of laws that would safeguard our elections. The president appears to be holding out some hope he can work with Republican leaders Mitch McConnell and Kevin McCarthy. Maybe that could happen on infrastructure. But a new bridge is not going to protect the Capitol. It's more like the GOP has a bridge to sell you. McCarthy just met with the insurrectionist in chief, Donald Trump. Apparently, they spoke about the upcoming midterms, or as some of Trump's allies may have it on their calendar, the next insurrection. Trump is still lying about the last election.
The media references the election hoax. They say the fraud is unproven. And while there is no evidence, there's so much evidence.
And he's lying about his crowd on January 6th.
You had over 1 million people there, which the press doesn't like to report at all because it shows too much activity, too much spirit and faith and love. There was such love at that rally. The crowd was unbelievable, and I mentioned the word love. The love in the air. I've never seen anything like it.
Given Trump's love for lies like that, delivering a speech about saving democracy without passing tough laws to protect elections is not going to be enough. To paraphrase the movie The Untouchables, it's like bringing a knife to an insurrection. Texas State House Democrats took action, leaving Austin for Washington to avoid voting for a new GOP election law. One of those Democrats even went on Fox to call out the big lie.
And so what I'm asking you to do is to tell your voters right now that Donald Trump lost the election in 2020.
At least you've resolved the lie that is Democrats are now for voter ID. It's not your show, sir, but at least you resolved the idea that Democrats are not for voter ID.
Did Donald Trump lose the election in 2020?
Real quick.
Can you answer the question? Did Donald Trump lose the election in 2020?
I'm answering questions. Don't really feel any obligation to answer anything of you.
Is this an uncomfortable question for you?
Perhaps the propagandists on Fox could read the new Trump books out this week. One of the books reports the chairman of the Joint Chiefs, General Mark Milley, was concerned Trump was going to attempt a coup, like Adolf Hitler. They may try to stage a coup, but they're not going to effing succeed, Milley told his aides, according to the book. CNN has learned Milley will not publicly address the issues raised in the book. Trump did respond in a statement saying, if I was going to do a coup, one of the last people I would want to do it with is General Mark Milley. As many observed, how very O.J. Simpson. If I was going to do a coup. Sounds like Simpson's book, If I Did It. Could somebody let us know if Trump is spotted in a white Ford Bronco this weekend? On the run with Rudy Giuliani? Perhaps they'll be heading for the Four Seasons Landscaping Company. I can just hear Rudy now. If the books don't fit, you must acquit. But I digress. One of the other books reports that Trump once told his former chief of staff, John Kelly, Hitler, quote, did a lot of good things. I'm sorry. Hold on. When we have entered the realm of coups and Hitler, we have to pause for a moment. This is not one of those situations where Trump wants to bomb hurricanes or buy Greenland. We are talking about coups and Hitler. Why is Kevin McCarthy meeting with Trump when we are talking about coups and Hitler? Did he not hear President Biden's warning about American democracy?
We're We're facing the most significant test of our democracy since the Civil War. That's not hyperbole. Since the Civil War.
Which takes me back to The Untouchables. There is a scene in that movie when Sean Connery, who plays Chicago police officer Jim Malone, poses a key question to Kevin Costner, who has the role of legendary federal agent Elliot Ness. What are you prepared to do? Ness, who is pursuing the mobster Al Capone, is holding his mentor Malone in his arms. Malone is dying after he is gunned down by one of Al Capone's thugs. Malone's last words are, "What are you prepared to do?" Like Al Capone before him, Trump doesn't seem too concerned about his past catching up with him. In exile no more, this generation's Teflon Don appears to be plotting his comeback. And some GOP leaders are making that happen, breathing life into the smoldering ruins of his presidency. Last Sunday, Trump said this.
I didn't become different. I got impeached twice. I didn't change. I became worse. I became worse.
I, for one, believe him. He has become worse, if that's possible. The current president says American democracy is still being threatened. Yes, it is being threatened by the former guy. As Jim Malone would ask, what are you prepared to do? What is law enforcement prepared to do about Trump's actions surrounding January 6th? What are Democrats prepared to do to protect our elections? What are you, the voter, prepared to do to hold accountable those politicians who choose Trump over American democracy? What are you prepared to do?